Hey, it's Jordan with TYT. We're here with the host of Family Feud on MundoMax. What did you think about the debate tonight, particularly on how they addressed the issues important to the Latino community?
Well, there's a clear difference between Hillary and Bernie. I don't like it when people tell me if it's too good to be truth, then it's not going to be true. Because that makes me feel like things cannot change, and that's what Bernie has, and that's why Bernie speaks to the youngest hearts. He might be the oldest guy in the run, but he, in his heart, is the youngest guy, and he says things can change, and that's the message that I keep hearing from him. Maybe because he's not sponsored by Wall Street, maybe because he's not getting money from oil companies, maybe because he's just a young activist at heart that never aged inside. And when I hear him speaking, it's over and over the same kind of thing. Whether it's immigration, whether it's global warming. I mean, Hillary doesn't even underline the problem of global warming. He's really passionate about it, and I keep hearing that in a very realistic way, because he's not saying, he said it today, I cannot change things on my own. We need to change them all together, but things can change, and I do believe that actual real change can happen.
I think we are touching a nerve with the American people who understand that establishment politics is just not good enough. We need bold changes. We need a political revolution.
Do you think that the Democratic Party is essentially kind of comfortable with the way things are? Maybe not, tax breaks for the 1%, but college doesn't need to be free, single payer healthcare. Do you think they've kind of become comfortable with the revolving door between corporate America, lobbyists, D.C.?
That's a really clear way to put it. What I've seen is that the politics in the U.S. have gone more and more and more to the right. Every time friends are sharing on social media the speeches of Ronald Reagan or George Bush, the father, and you hear how they speak or how they spoke, they're very close to the way Bernie Sanders speaks nowadays. So I think
I wouldn't go that far, but better. Yeah.
Not that far, but in terms of being respectful to the immigration, to the immigrants, and I think that the politics in the U.S. have gone very, very, very to the right, and the Democratic Party has also followed that path, and Hillary is more in the center.
I believe that if you start your campaign and you run on a platform calling for a full loaf, at worst you're going to get a half a loaf. If you start your campaign talking about the need for a half a loaf, you're going to get crumbs.
I mean, I'm afraid that she wins. Once she wins this election, then she goes to the general election. She's going to be way more to the center to conciliate more with the Republicans. And I think Bernie is that crazy guy that we needed that is making her change. It's amazing how in every single debate, she takes something that Bernie said on the previous debate, and now she makes it hers, like if she has been saying it forever. So, I mean, the influence that he has over the debate is just amazing. But I do think that there is a movement that is not comfortable, that we don't like the establishment, we don't like the corrupted financial system in politics, and there's a lot of people that want to change the system, and I think Bernie is the man.
If you get paid $225,000 for one speech, it must have been a fantastic speech.
Does it make sense to you if someone doesn't have anything to hide that they wouldn't release transcripts of speeches where they made hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Why wouldn't you share them? Why wouldn't you? I mean, just share them. It's like if there's nothing to fear, just share them. Because the problem is...
So if around your family dinner table, you told that, do you think Latinos, all people, do you think that they should raise an eyebrow?
Well, in my family, I have a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters because all the young guys, all the young people in the family have turned the older people into Bernie supporters, and we all agree that she should release those scripts or whatever she used for the conferences. And see, Bernie has been a gentleman. He has attacked her a little bit, but he's not touching on the emails and he's not touching on the big things that the Republicans will on the general election. So it would be good for her just to get it over with now.
So I think that Secretary Clinton should share that fantastic speech with the whole country.
So we can't be all hope, change, and rainbows. A lot of the things Senator Sanders is calling for are pretty big, bold things. He's talking about Wall Street, tax on Wall Street speculation, this and that. But, I mean, you're facing a Republican Congress that wouldn't even vote on a post office name, let alone that. Yeah. How does he get these things through?
Well, we need to vote for a Democratic Congress. And then we need to be loud and clear on social media. Now that we have the privilege to speak ourselves on social media and to have, your show has been watched way more than regular average television shows.
Repeat that.
Your show is being watched by more people than average television shows, right? So now that we have that...
It's not my show, it's Cenk's show, but go ahead.
That's good. Now that we have that privilege, that we don't have to go through a room of people who are going to tell us, oh, you can speak about that and you cannot speak about that. Let's use our voice. I mean, social media is changing dramatically everything in this country. So, yes, we cannot be just like all rainbows and unicorns and stuff like that, but we can make change happen. If we elect Bernie and we elect a Democratic Congress, and then we go after them and we push them and give them with respect and with education, we give them the pressure that they need to make things change, they will.
The reason Democrats lose in midterms is a lot of old people come out for midterms and young people never do. Do you think a Hillary Clinton versus a Bernie Sanders could get those people out? Obviously, Bernie is winning with young people in the general, but if Bernie becomes president, what's the odds of taking back and getting those young people to come out for other elections?
That's a great observation, and I think that's where young people, allow me to include myself, I'm not that young, but I feel young in my heart, we need to be responsible. We cannot be depending on the candidate motivating me enough to go out and vote. If I'm going to be a citizen of this millennium, if I'm going to be a citizen of this generation, I have to take the responsibility of, like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. And being the change means that you have to go out and vote. If we're depending on someone to come and motivate us to vote, then we're not being responsible. That's not the level of responsibility that I want to see in the newer generations. Now, Bernie's getting all the young vote out, but I hope that we don't depend on Bernie to keep that momentum going.
Where can my viewers find you?
Well, right now, if you're in the United States, MundoMax is the network, Channel 22 in Los Angeles, and in Latin America on Mundo Fox and Televisa and other networks. On Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Shameless plug, yes.